Hello and welcome back to another video, my fellow commandants. Today we're going to discuss who you should pull for in the upcoming patch, Shaper's Ripples. So we're going to go over a few details for each character, and I'll give you my personal opinion on who you should pull for. Keep in mind that this is purely my personal opinion and does not apply to everyone. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee or beverage of your choice, and let's go over the details. But before that, if you enjoy these type of videos, leave a like and subscribe. Now back to the video. So, as everyone knows, thanks to the synchronization plan, we will have a double S rank patch consisting of Lucia Pyro and Nanomy Star Trail. Now, some of the free-to-plays and low spenders might be looking at this a tad skeptical about how they should go about this. Let's start by going over Lucia, then we'll talk about Nanomy. So, Lucia Pyro is going to be the new fire attacker replacing Lee Hyperreal. Now, Lucia is a character who will function immensely better with a bit of investment. How much investment, you might be asking? From what I've been able to tell, she'll function best with double S3 and her signature weapon with deadline timing, which is definitely asking for quite a lot. Now, of course, this only really applies to the meta, and it goes without saying that you should obviously pull her if you just like Lucia. Now, Lucia's best team is going to consist of Liv Imperia and Watanabe Epitaph, with Imperia being free from the voucher shop if you don't already have her. However, Imperia will be getting replaced by the newly announced Vera frame. Lucia is the primary unit for the ionization team. However, that only applies to hero rank and above in Warzone, so keep that in mind. Her ionization team is consisting of her and Karenina. As of right now, that AMP spot is up for debate, however, but the CM players were running Feral Scent 21 all the way until Lilith released. Now, if you're curious about Lucia's Cub, it's good for grouping up enemies, but not necessarily required unless you want the extra damage and the quality of life. Now, speaking of signature weapon for Lucia, her weapon, Dawn's Flaming Feathers, increases attack by 10%, and after performing signature move, Auxiliary Precision Slash, will recover 3 signal orbs, also allowing you to trigger Matrix when Lucia enters Blazing Thunder form. For Resonance, like I said earlier, deadline timing is extremely important, as Lucia will consume a lot of signal orbs. Now on to Nanomy, or as I've taken to calling her, Not a Knight, is the new lightning tank replacing Vera Garnet. Now, unlike Lucia, Nanomy can, thankfully, just function at double S with a 5-star weapon. Now, obviously, she's going to heavily benefit from having her signature weapon. However, free-to-plays can breathe a sigh of relief that it isn't necessarily required. Now, obviously, Nanomy's best teammates are going to be Lucia Crimson Wave and Feral 21. Once again, this purely applies to meta. And if you're pulling just because you like the character, then you should pull. Now, believe it or not, Nanomy's teammates can be attained completely for free on the patch following Shaper's Ripples. However, there is a second team that you can temporarily use Nanomy on, the Void team, consisting of her and Luna Oblivion and the amplifier of your choice. Now, onto her Cub. Like Lucia's, it's good at gathering enemies, but once again, it's not really required unless you wanted that extra damage and the quality of life. Now, a bit earlier, I mentioned how Nanomy will still greatly benefit from her signature weapon, Stellar Brilliance, as it increases their attack by 10% and doubles the damage of Fire Transformation, and has the base damage effect of overload points towards Fallen Star Slam that is also doubled. Essentially, her signature weapon enables big PP damage, especially if you resonate it with Domain Deconstruction, which provide even more elemental shred. Now, speaking of Crimson Wave, as many of you know, she will be getting her Mafia Gacha coding that will release soon as well. And while the coding will be available for 2 patches, some of you may want it as soon as possible. As such, if you're a free-to-play especially, you'll probably have to sacrifice a character if you haven't already, since it will cost 17,500 BC to guarantee everything, or the equivalent of 568 RC. But why would I bring this up when this is a video about pulling characters? I'm bringing this up because if you haven't already skipped a previous unit, then you will need to choose between sacrificing a pull on Lucia or Nanomy, or maybe you won't. You see, if you aren't after double S3 Lucia, you can 100% use the blue ticket selector to get Lucia later down the line, or wait till the following patch if you decide to skip Nanomy. You see, if you aren't after double S3 Lucia, you can 100% use the blue ticket selector to get Lucia later down the line, whenever she becomes available on the blue ticket selector, which should be Nanomy Star Trail's patch, which just happens to be this patch. Now, onto my personal recommendations as far as polling goes, and for the last time, this applies mainly to the meta, and I 100% endorse waifu over meta. So, should you pull Lucia or Nanomy? If you decide to skip one of the units this patch because you're pulling the gacha coding for Alpha mainly. Now, if you had the Fire team, and they're decently invested, Lucia is obviously an amazing choice. However, my top personal recommendation would be pulling Lucia with the blue ticket selector 1, because Nanomy doesn't require near as much investment as Lucia. 2, because Lucia will be available at some point on the blue ticket selector, be it Shaper's Ripples or the following patch. And reason number 3 is because the Lightning team will be effectively completely free on the patch following Shaper's Ripples. Now, if you're a low spender, you can still pull a copy of Lucia, pull a copy of Nanomy, and grab that alpha coding, and the double S of both Lucia and Nanomy through Pancage, and then double S through the blue ticket selector later down the line. However, at the end of the day, it's purely up to you and what you want for your account. Honestly, I'm super excited for this upcoming patch, guys. Though personally, I'm most excited for Nana Knight since she's a literal Monster Hunter reference, and I am all here for it. With that, everyone, if you liked the video, consider dropping a like and hitting that subscribe button, as well as turning on notifications to be notified when I drop a new video or go live. I have a growing Discord where we talk all kinds of PGR and WUA, so why not join? Also, I'll be hosting a watch party live with chat when the PGR livestream happens for Shaper's Ripples, so make sure to swing by and check that out. With that, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!